What's up, Bills Mafia? I got your players whose stock went up and those that went down following the Bills' loss to the Cincinnati Bengals this past Sunday night. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is PZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Well, Bills Mafia, I got the players whose stock went up and those that went down following the Bills' loss to the Cincinnati Bengals this past Sunday night. And once again, shout out to Bills Wire for creating this article. All right, let's get this thing going. All right, first up, stock up, wide receiver, Stephon Diggs. Diggs was one of the bright spots for the Bills in this one as Buffalo struggled to sustain any offensive momentum against a tough Bengals defense. Diggs making the list is redundant to some degree because of how good of a wide receiver he is. But being Josh Allen's best weapon goes a long way towards having a productive offense. Yeah, man, you got to give it up to Stephon Diggs, man. He's been that dude all year. He's been that guy, man. He's stepped up pretty much every single game and has been Josh Allen's go-to guy. Like he's been since 2020 when we got him on this team. But where's the rest of the offense? I don't know. Now, I will say Dalton Kincaid is starting to become a bright spot, and he should be because he was our first-round draft pick. And that's a big reason why we drafted this guy, is so that he can make plays and be a help on this offense, especially being a security blanket for Josh Allen when things break down. And he's starting to become that. And it's really, really good to see. He did have the fumble, but other than that, I thought, it was Stephon Diggs and Dalton Kincaid all game long, sprinkled in a little Khalil Shakir as well. But, yeah, Stephon Diggs stock up 100%. All right, let's get to it. Next one. Stock down. Quarterback Josh Allen. While Allen's best offensive weapon made this list as someone whose stock is rising, the Bills' superstar quarterback makes this list due to his expectations compared to how he played in this game. Allen did a good job of making sure that Diggs and Dalton Kincaid saw plenty of targets, but there were some plays that Allen wished he had back, including an interception during a point in the contest where the game was still in the balance. Yeah, that was a bad throw, no doubt about it. Bad throw by Josh Allen. But overall, I gotta say, I don't know about stock down. I don't know if it's stock up, but stock down, I kind of disagree there. If anything, it's kind of a neutral. I don't have it up or down. I didn't think he played his best game. I also don't think he played his worst game. So, yeah, he missed some throws. The interception was bad. He had Davis open if he just put a little bit more touch on the ball, a little bit more air underneath it. And that could have been a touchdown, by the way. So, yeah, that was a bad throw. But other than that, I thought he did a pretty good job. But once again, it wasn't his greatest performance out there. But I also believe, putting your quarterback in the right situation will help. And that's something that Ken Dorsey's not doing. All right, next up. Stock up, tight end, Dalton Kincaid. While Kincaid had a crucial fumble in the fourth quarter of this game, he had an overall good night as a pass catcher. Ever since Dawson Knox went down, Kincaid has more than stepped up to the plate as someone other than Diggs that Allen can rely on when he needs to make a play on an important down. Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. Dalton Kincaid, man, is starting to become, like I said, the guy we all thought he was going to be, right? Which is a first-round prospect, all right? A first-round talent, a guy that was supposed to go in the top 15 of the NFL draft. and he slid down enough for us to trade up to get him. And thank God we did. And at first, I got to be honest with you, I was a little disappointed in the draft pick because I felt like this team needed offensive line more than anything. But we wound up getting lucky and getting our offensive lineman in the second round. So, yeah, man, I'm more than pleased with the draft pick. And yeah, listen, guys, that was a hell of a play by the defender, man. What can you say? Dalton Kincaid got caught up in the air, got a good hit on him, and the defender just came out and peanut, what was it called? Peanut punched him, or peanut, I forget the guy's name, ex-player for the Chicago Bears, punched it out, man. What are you going to do? So it is what it is. And it's his first fumble of the season. He'll get over that, and he'll move on. So other than that, I thought Dalton Kincaid was a reliable option all night long for Josh Allen, man. And he was coming up with some big plays all night. So, it is what it is. And by the way, he even got leg swept and still remained in the game to make a play right after for this offense. Which, by the way, that was a clear penalty, and the referees just were like, had their blinders on. No idea what they were looking at. Clear as day that the guy purposely swung his leg out there and tripped Dalton Kincaid. It's crazy. I got to say, the refereeing this year has been atrocious. And I'm not saying that's why we lost this game. So don't come at me and say, oh, you're making excuses. I'm just saying in general, just watching football, other teams play. I feel like the refereeing is just making mistakes after mistake after mistake. And some of these are costly mistakes, big mistakes. A team could, a crucial third down, linebacker makes a sack. It's going to be fourth down. The team's going to have to punt. But no, there's a flag for roughing the passer, even though it wasn't roughing the passer. Clear as day, you could see. And we got one in that Bengals game. And it was against Tim Settle. And I don't know what, I honestly, I don't understand what the refs were looking at. He didn't land on him. In fact, he had him land on him, had the quarterback land on him. So it makes no sense. I don't understand what it was. It wasn't a late hit. So the referee, man, has to do a better job. And this goes across the NFL. This is, like I said, this is just isn't about the Buffalo Bills. This is about every NFL team, in the league, man. It's time to get these refs accountable for their bad calls, because they're really, a lot of these calls are changing the outcome of some of these games. It's not right. All right, next up. Stock down. James Cook. Spin down. To put it simply, James Cook had one of his worst games this season for the Bills as a starting running back. Granted, Cook did not get a lot of chances to make his mark on his game, as Buffalo was trailing for the majority of the contest. But for the opportunities that he did receive, Cook just did not make an impact at any point in this game. He didn't, and he hasn't. He hasn't made an impact at all as of late. His average, yards per carry is down a lot, and he's bad at pass protection. He's a liability when he's out there. He cannot pass protect. And I kind of feel like, the signing of Leonard Fournette, you might see Leonard Fournette start to get more snaps than James Cook as the season goes on, and as Fournette starts to learn the playbook, because you can't have a liability out there, especially on passing downs, when you need to protect Josh Allen. Can't have it. And I also feel like James Cook running between the tackles is just not good. He's too thin. And, that's why, I've been telling everyone that the Buffalo Bills need to go out and get themselves a bigger back, a more of a 3-down back, a bruising type of running back. Stop with these smaller running backs. It just doesn't work. And there's a reason why James Cook had very limited snaps in Georgia. He didn't have a lot of rushing attempts in Georgia. And there's a reason why, and it's showing right now. I like James Cook. I still think James Cook is a decent running back, but he's not an RB1. I'm sorry. Just like you guys come at me with the Gabe Davis is not a wide receiver number 2. And listen, that I can understand. Like that, I understand your guys' thoughts about Gabe Davis. And right now, I'm with you. I wasn't before, and I thought Gabe Davis could be a good number 2, but he's just so inconsistent. So right now, Gabe Davis for me is like a 3, a good 3, but he could still be a 2 depending on if he can actually get back to where he was at least last year. I thought, I think he finished with 875. I mean, that's not terrible, guys, for a number 2. You want your number 2 to get around 1,000 yards. He was very close to it, and he was dealing with an injury. And of course, he had the, dropping passes left and right. Didn't help. But this year's been a disaster for Gabe Davis so far. It's not been a good one. But anyways, back on James Cook. I just don't feel like James Cook is an RB1. I'm sorry. He's a good RB2, but we need a better back on this team. And we haven't had a good running back since Shady McCoy. And yeah, you're going to say to me, well, Shady McCoy wasn't a big back. Yeah, but Shady McCoy was that dude. That dude was electric. And he was that good where he didn't need to be a big bruising running back. James Cook is not Shady McCoy. So, yeah, there's a big difference there, But I would prefer a bigger back. Now, can we find that in the draft? Can we find that in free agency? Time will tell, but we haven't yet. By the way, Devin Singletary is missed right now. I mean, I'm not saying he was also this RB1 type of running back, but he could at least pass protect. All right, next up. Stock up, safety, Jordan Poyer. The Bills have suffered so many injuries to its defensive unit this season that it's a wonder that some of the players are still standing, given the unfortunate injury luck. For Poyer, he was all over the field to make tackle after tackle, and he was huge in both the run game and the pass game in terms of making key tackles to prevent plays from getting bigger. Yeah, man. Jordan Poyer is that dude, man. Love Jordan Poyer. Love Micah Hyde. Best safety duo in the NFL still, in my opinion. And Jordan Poyer had a little of a rocky start, I would say, to start the season. But he's really stepped up the last 2 or 3 games. Love what I've been seeing from Jordan Poyer out there. And Micah Hyde still playing really, really good, too. He did get hurt in this game, but I believe he'll be back for Monday night. I don't think it was a major type of injury. So, yeah, I would expect Micah Hyde to be on the field Monday night. All right, next up. Stock down, defensive tackle, Ed Oliver. Oliver has one of the hardest jobs on the defensive line as he has to find ways to stuff the interior gaps of the offensive line in the run game and has to collapse the pocket from the middle of the line. However, in this one, he was not able to create pressure on Joe Burrow as Cincinnati's offense had little trouble passing the ball. Yeah, man. Once again, man, Cincinnati's offensive line totally worked this defensive line. We did not win in the trenches yet again. Joe Burrow pretty much clean all night long. Unacceptable. I told you guys one of my keys of the game going into that game was to put pressure on Joe Burrow to get him on the ground. Not necessarily you have to sack him every time, but you have to get in his face. You got to be there. You can't let Burrow just sit back and pick you apart. And we just could not get to him. And he did exactly what he wanted to do. And yeah, Ed Oliver did not have one of his better games, though. Ed Oliver's having a good season. So I'm not going to kill Ed Oliver for having one bad game, so far. So it is what it is. But his stock will go back up. But yeah, I'll agree with this one. Stock down for Ed Oliver for this game. He just didn't have it. Just didn't have it this game. Also, we'll add some more stock up, stock down. So let me get to this. So stock down. Let's be real. Coaching. I'm just going to say coaching in general. head coach Sean McDermott with a terrible challenge at the end of the game when we needed our timeouts. He wasted one. And Grant, listen, you guys can argue with it, or, that, it was a catch, but it was so damn close. Was it really worth it to challenge that? Also, it wasn't a significant play. It wasn't for a touchdown. It wasn't a huge gain. I think it was a 9-yard gain. It's not a big deal. It's a first down play. So what? You go to 2nd and 10 again. Who cares? Like, you need that timeout. Time is the enemy right now. And Sean McDermott should know better. And by the way, Sean McDermott's history of challenging has been bad. It's been bad since he's been head coach. He challenges the worst plays. And I just didn't understand this challenge at all. I really want to know, did anyone question why he did that challenge? Was he just trusting Trent Sherfield's word? Because I know Trent Sherfield said that he went over and said, hey, man, I made that catch. And listen, I got to say, too, from the replays, it's close. It's damn close. It looked like his hand was under the ball. But it's super close. It could go either way. Not worth the challenge. You don't trust your play. I'm sorry. You got guys up there that are looking at the replay that are hitting them on the headset and going, challenge it or don't challenge it. So somebody up there is doing a bad job, or McDermott's just not listening. It's one or the other, but it's unacceptable. And he's in year 7 as a head coach. I don't want to hear that he's a young head coach. Year 7. Stop. This isn't year 1. This isn't year 2. Like, I'll give Dorsey more of a pass than McDermott. At least he's only in year 2 of OC. Just saying. But we're not going to give Dorsey a pass, who's only been OC for a year and 9 games, a season and 9 games. But we're going to give McDermott a pass? He's in year 7. What's his excuse? Just saying, guys, come on, man, stop. And then going on Ken Dorsey, he's just been flat out bad. And maybe OC is just not for him. Maybe being an offensive coordinator is just not his thing. And listen, it's okay. Sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes there's really good offensive coordinators, really good defensive coordinators, and they want to become head coaches, and they fail. It just doesn't work out. And they go back to being OC or DC, whatever. And that's where they thrive at. And maybe this just isn't his gig. And I also got to say, McDermott chiming into the offense and telling, wanting this offense to be ran a certain way probably isn't helping Ken Dorsey either. So Ken Dorsey stock down as well. This whole coaching staff stock down. I think the offensive line has been pretty bad the last 2 or 3 weeks as well. Stock down Aaron Kromer. You got to get your offensive line better, bro. You got to protect Josh Allen better. You got to run block better. I'm seeing handoffs to the running backs, and you got 3 guys in the backfield right away. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Sorry guys, I had something calling in. Unacceptable by Aaron Kromer in this offensive line to still be a subpar offensive line. Like, I really had high hopes for this offensive line going into the season. And I still think they're a decent group. I do. I don't think it's complete. I still think there's work to be done. But, I am happy that they're all healthy going into week 10 now. That hasn't been the case in Buffalo for many, many years, that we've had the same offensive line, knock on wood, going into week 10. So that I like. I like that we went younger, but they're not doing their job the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's been unacceptable. And that goes back to coaching. Aaron Kromer, get your guys' shit together, man. Get it right. If you need to make a swap if McGovern needs to go out for Edwards, if you feel like that change needs to happen, then make it happen. But you're the coach. You're the offensive line coach. You need to figure this shit out. So, and then obviously defensive coordinator, which is Sean McDermott. I understand he's doing his best with the limitations we have right now on defense. I understand there's injuries all over. I get it. But he took this role on. It's what he wanted. And right now, in big moments, I'm talking about big moments, must-have moments for the defense. The defense has let us down. We can go back to the Patriots game where, yeah, the offense was shit all game. But the offense winded up giving the defense an opportunity to close the show, right? Took the lead under 2 minutes. You're going against a Patriots offense that ranked last in the NFL, averaged 12 points per game. Mac Jones, who was one of the worst quarterbacks statistically in the NFL. Here's your moment, McDermott. Here it is. They got 75 yards to go win the game. Can you stop them? No. I don't get it. Like what happened there? Here's your moment. Your defense coordinator. Here's your moment. And then you got this game against the Bengals. Here's your moment again. We need the ball back. We get the ball back. We score a touchdown. We win the game, guys. We win the game. There was plenty. There was like, 3 minutes left in that game? Plenty of time. We had one timeout. We could have had two, by the way. Could have had two, but he used it. Plenty of time to make a stop, to call the right defensive plays, to get the right scheme in there. And I get it. Players are responsible too, guys, because I know you're going to come at me and say, well, Von missed the tackle. Well, this happened. I get it. You got to execute. Players got to execute. I'm with that. But what happened with the Patriots game? What happened with the 13 seconds? Because y'all can argue with me about Leslie Frazier, but to me, I think that was all McDermott. I think McDermott took over there. I honestly do. So we can't keep giving excuses for Sean McDermott, guys. Can't keep doing it. Players are responsible too. I get it. They got to do their job as well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Sean McDermott is the head coach. He's the defensive coordinator. It's his team. He runs the show. And right now, that it's failing. And it's his responsibility to get this team back. And right now, he's not. Right now, he's giving us the same bullshit excuse week after week, playing complimentary football, blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't want to hear it no more. Go fix it. We're done with that shit. So, yeah, stock down coaching. Absolutely stock down. So, anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Real quick. I want to say thank you to everyone that watched my last video, man. That video is popping. And you guys are commenting left and right. And that, if you guys go back on my last video, for those who haven't watched it, it was the Buffalo Bills have an issue. And that issue, Sean McDermott, basically, is what I'm saying, has a problem. That's Sean McDermott. So go watch that video. It's an interesting one. Interesting takes by me. You guys, for the most part, everyone's been pretty cool in the comment section with their opinions. A lot agree with me. Some don't. And that's okay. We all have our opinions. But it's a good watch if you haven't watched it already. So go ahead and watch that. But I want to say thank you for everyone who's watched that video, who subscribed. We got a lot of new subscribers to this channel. So thank you. And Bills Mafia, listen, I hope I'm so wrong on that video. I hope I'm so wrong on my feelings about Sean McDermott and Ken Dorsey that I eat crow at the end of the season. We're winning the Super Bowl. I really hope I'm wrong. But right now, I can't see it happening, guys. Not how this is going, and not how things have been going over the last, I would say, 2 seasons since 2021 in that 13 seconds. It's not been good, guys. All right, Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.